She's saying no, but
she's mad, but she still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Sean Whaley is furious.
She's upset. But 100%.
All live on a Friday. Welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of Axe Kick Picks, episode 194. Today is Friday. Almost said fucking July, kid. September the 12th, 2020.
We're past your birthday.
Yeah, we're past fucking July, kid. Still a little hot though here on the East Coast. Not gonna lie, it's been like in the 80s, high 70s, perfect weather. How's the Carolinas treating you?
Doing good, man. Yeah, everything's good. You know, got a couple events other than what we're going to discuss taking place this weekend. Of course, LFA 217, the debut of Gable Stevenson. It's going to take place tonight.
Where is that?
Oh, I think like Brazil. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's. They have a lot of Brazilian fighters. I'll tell you that much. But maybe just check that out. I see the other events are like Octagon 75. They're taking place tomorrow, as well as Cage Warriors 193. So I know you got BKFC, which I'm going to get into. D-Rock, I know you always segue into that a little bit.
I love that.
What does it say? Does it say anything about LFA?
Oh, I didn't look it up. LFA what?
217, Gable Stevenson.
Okay. Let's see where it's at. It is Minnesota.
Hey,
and that makes sense for Gable Stevenson.
Duh. Should have figured that much.
Yeah. Hey, 2 + 2 still equals 4. But no, hopefully he's found a home. I know he went from wrestling. He's a decorated wrestler. He went and tried the WWE thing. He even had a stint in Buffalo.
Do you think with a win tonight, he gets moved right up to the UFC, or they're going to keep him in LFA?
No, they're going to keep him in LFA. If he wins, and if it's a boring decision fight, he has some things to work on. He needs to start dominating fighters before they call him up to the big leagues.
Well, being how everyone has complained about dominant wrestling, if very well he goes out there and does that, it could be a snooze fest in that regards, but we'll find it entertaining because we could see how high level he is, you know?
Yeah, good luck to him. Should be a hell of a fight. Yeah, and that is in Minnesota tonight. LFA 217, you know, you have to be a really good organization to get to 217 events. So tip your cap to LFA. Absolutely. We got a great episode, kid. UFC Noche. It's not in Mexico, but it's close. It's in San Antonio, Texas.
UFC.
Exactly. Early start time. Oh, I love these 12 o'clock starts. Oh, we're done by 3 p.m. main card. We're done by 7. Goes right into Canelo Crawford. Free on Netflix. Cannot wait for that. We'll talk about that. Undisputed versus Undisputed. We'll see how it all shapes out. Live on Netflix tomorrow night. We got some news to discuss in MMA and boxing. We'll talk about that. And Joey mentioned it in the top. BKFC 80 down in beautiful Sunshine, Florida. The debut of Yoel Romero. Oh my God. Violence. I cannot wait for that. But let's recap. We'll start over in Paris. And of course, I mean, the crowd was sensational. But I didn't think the main event was all that good, if I'm being honest. Nasruddin Imavov, he did get the unanimous decision win over Caio Borralho.
It was one-sided, right?
One-sided, absolutely. But my question to you is, did he do enough to punch his ticket to fight Hamza? I don't think so.
All right. You know, these guys coming in on the other... This is how dominant Hamzat is that we have to have basically 2 number 1 contenders, right? Like, you know, put your bucket in the hat. Who's it going to be? I would go on the record to say, I think even if we get a decision fight out of RDR and Fluffy Hernandez, it's going to be twice as exciting
100%.
As this one was. And I think that's what's going to sell. I think that you got Hamzat as a champion, and he came out saying something about he wants to only fight overseas. I think, crazy stylistic matchup with these high-paced submission kind of styles guys instead of a stand-up, because it seems that like if it was Borralho, even though he has mixed in takedowns, it seemed like he could get dominated on the ground. And I think the same with Imavov. You could see that maybe if you take this guy down who mainly has focused on striking, and look, he's done good with takedown defense and getting up off the ground, but you could see a one-sided affair there. If Hamza gets a hold of Imavov, he could easily just cruise out on the scorecards, or just find a way to a submission. But with Fluffy Hernandez and RDR's jiu-jitsu sublime, Fluffy's is as well, great wrestling. it does make for a better stylistic matchup. The fans will clamor for it. Yeah, Imavov, unfortunately, did not do enough in his own backyard. I'd give it to the winner of Fluffy and RDR.
Yeah, I agree. And if a knockout of Israel Adesanya doesn't get you a title shot, this is definitely not going to get you a title shot. Do you think weighing in as the backup for 319 hurt him, cutting weight twice? Because it didn't look like the same Caio Bahayo.
It seems like it always does, right? It never really fares out well for those who have to cut weight multiple times within a short duration. So, yeah, you got to say that's a factor. You know, maybe we got a little depleted Caio Bahayo. Maybe the styles itself did showcase what were to come, even if he wasn't, tip-top shape. But still, you got to consider that as a factor. So, I guess with a little asterisk for Caio Bahayo saying that, he could, not lose as much stock, right? His stock drop as much, and he's still going to stay alive, right? Was he in the top 5 before this match?
Caio Bahayo?
Yeah, right.
He was 7th.
No, so he wasn't in the top 5. So, yeah, I mean, get him a top 10 fight.
Yeah, I think regardless if he cut weight 2 weeks prior to this fight, I still think it was the same outcome. I think stylistically, this is just a bad matchup for him. And technically, I feel like Imavov is just a better technical striker than Caio Bahayo. So I thought it was a tough one. He only drops 1 down to 8, but get him like a Robert Whittaker or like a Michael Venom Page or something like.
The French fighters go undefeated.
They did go undefeated. Yes,
that's what it could be too. A little bit leading into the main event that they were just rolling. The first win, it was all the way until we got into like the main card or the main event of the prelims, Omar Sy, right? And then William Gomez after Sola, BSD, and then Imavov.
Yeah, they did go undefeated. So shout out them. The crowd was amazing. I thought the main event should have been this. BSD, what a fight! What a submission against Marcio Rufi. Suffocating. Again, another fighter who just didn't look like I guess I anticipated, a lot of people anticipated, but BSD just suffocated him for the first 2 rounds, and then he got the submission. And that crowd was amazing. Fighting nerds. Are we fading them?
We'll see, right? When we talk about Noche UFC, because they've got a main eventer in there, John Silva, but I think it's what you said, styles make fights. BSD, he's a grinder. He does utilize the submissions a lot. He's weird, his approach, right? Sometimes he'll enter in wrong. That's where you see Dustin Poirier was just tagging him in boxing range, right? But he'll come in and kind of play this paw game with you, like hand fight, encourage you to hand fight with him before you know he's got his clinch, he's finding body locks, he's getting a takedown. It's just BSD's game. We haven't seen too much of Mauricio Rufi's ground game. We see that he has a deficiency there. It comes down to his inability to defend the takedowns, and then high level grapplers. He seems to fall short there. But his striking is second to none. I don't think a lot of people in that weight class want to stand and bang with him. So it sees that there's an out for these guys, and that's what they're going to attack. So he's got to go back to the camp with the fighting nerds and address that issue. I think you know how to fight. You know how to throw spinning kicks, flying knees, and your hands very proper. Let's work solely on wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and takedown defense, because we know what is going to make you succeed, Mauricio Rufi, and that's going to be the stand-up.
Yeah, he stays at 13 BSD. I thought this was a really good win. Give him a top 10 fight. Give him maybe
Absolutely.
a rematch. Maybe a rematch to Money Marcano.
I hate to say it for BSD, but he's budding to be a gatekeeper. And we talked about it. It's not a diss or anything of the sort. Fighters would love to be in that position, but you can't beat BSD. You're not really ready for the title shot. So
no, not at all. Marcio Rusi definitely taking a step back now, out of the top. No, he's still top 15. He's still top 15, but we'll see. Definitely needs a nice comeback fight. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I thought the performance of the night definitely went to BSD. Bukakis, man,
Damn.
Our boy. Sad.
Put on the gloves.
He retired, Paul Craig. Hell of a career. Shout out Paul Craig. Amazing career.
A lot of moments, a lot of magical moments. We like him as a person too.
But Bustakis does have the knockout, and he gets it as the bell horns. I mean, brutal. You heard that elbow. Yeah. It was just brutal.
He's looking good ever since that. Coming off that injury, the Khalil Roundtree check knee, right? The side kick right into the knee was one of the most brutal knee injuries you've seen in recent time, and he's coming back off of that, and he looks like an evolved version of himself. Modestas Butakakis, I think, is legit, man. I've always liked him. I liked him his first stint But just these guys, right, coming back into the UFC and trying to, get things straight, set things straight. You see that not only in this impressive performance, but even in the next one. Mason Jones, second stint.
Yeah, he is also fighting out of Tom Aspinall's camp as well.
Bukakis, right?
Yeah, so working with the champ.
Wait, is Mason Jones too?
No, Bukakis.
Oh, I was about to say. I mean, it seems like, he's Welsh, so.
Yeah, but what a comeback from Mason Jones. I mean, I thought it was over, honestly, in that
first round.
The first round was crazy, but
credit to Bellagioki. I've made a couple bucks on him. I think from Dana White's contender series he came from. He had a win there, and I think he won in his debut. But Mason Jones is a very high-level, all-around MMA fighter. Bellagioki has some explosive skills. You saw it there in the first round, but it shows like the skills pay off, and they normally win fights.
Unfortunate for our boy Reese McKee, the Irishman. Got knocked out in the third round. The Frenchmen, they were just on fire.
Axel Sola, he paid me well in an XP for verdict prediction. So you don't know him. He was an Irish FC champion for quite a while, and he's still only, 23, 24 years of age. So I think the UFC's got one in Axel Sola, young and upcoming superstar.
William Gomez won unanimous decision to start off the main card. Omar
Leave it to William Gomez to kill the momentum, though, with the decision.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you get a win at home. I think it was really good. Omar Sy got the knockout in the first round. And your boy, the Croatian.
Well, you didn't take a play.
No, but I thought.
But I went to your playbook there. I was looking at Tybura, and you've hit him a couple times, but we've seen Antidilli in the PFL. We know he's got that stand-up. He's got power. Not a lot of guys have beaten him in his career. So he's interesting, I think, for the heavyweight division.
And now he moves directly into the top 10. He's debuting at number 9.
Have him fight Shamil Ghazayev.
I think actually Shamir Ghazayev has a fight. I think he's fighting Sergey Spivak.
Ooh.
Little MMA news for you right there. But that's a fight. You know who I want him to fight?
Antidilli?
Yeah.
Who do you want him to fight?
Waldo Cortez Acosta.
That'll propel him up there.
Yeah.
Right.
Top 6.
So, yeah, right there, coming off a loss. Hey, nothing but tough fights for Waldo Cortez Acosta, though.
No. But that's about it, man. I know. Shout out Robert.
Leg kicks. Yeah, Robert Bridgek with the upset.
Yeah, he knocked out Brad Tavares. Your girl Shauna Bannon didn't get it done. Shout out the American Sam.
Not with the power. What the heck? Knocked out your boy Gustafsson. Yeah, you made money on him.
I have, but Fakardinov is.
He's undefeated in the UFC, low key. He's 6-0-1.
You would think so, right?
Yeah, his fights are very weird, bro.
Very weird. But overall, I do go 1-2. The main event and co-main, I did not get right. But our boy Bustakis, he gets there with the knockout for us. How'd you do?
Yeah, brother. I went 6-7 overall. A couple plus money hits. I had him evolve all week. And then I went with the Fighting Nerds last minute. I just thought the momentum would take him over the top, but it was the momentum of the Paris crowd making the Frenchmen come on top. So kudos to them. Congrats.
By the way, Dana White Contender Series week 5 contracts. How'd you do for on Tuesday?
3-2. I hit all my totals, and I missed on the early 2 picks. Pretty bad ones, but that's how it goes. Dana White Contender Series, and we hit on Steven Asplin making the UFC, another injection into the heavyweight division.
Yeah, honestly, you're getting your totals down pat, kid.
I don't think I've lost a total yet.
Yeah, which is
going into like last year too, because we'll talk about it as we recap always. So far so good.
I love it, kid. I love it. All right, kid. Let's. Before we get into the UFC Noche, quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. There's no wonder why. Viva is the most refreshing hard seltzer on the campaign. In San Francisco World Spirit Competition, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks. So just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or watching UFC Noche, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink, I believe, here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. Kid, program change. I said it was at noon, but prelims start actually at 3 p.m. here on the East Coast.
That's still not bad.
No, and main card starts at 6, so it will actually lead up perfectly into Crawford Canelo. So
you got a little hiccup on the ad there. I gotta say, brother, out of the 194 episodes we've gotten to, you're 193-1. I think this is the first time the prompt got you a little.
Yeah, prompt got me a little, but hey, we're undefeated.
We're only human, baby. We're only human.
All right, so start us off, kid. What do you got?
Yeah, we'll start right into what I see as a tournament fight at the welterweight weight class. You see that correctly, right? Rodrigo Cinzinato is a dog here, the Brazilian at plus 185, taking on Daniel Dunchenko at minus 195. I'm going to side with the Ukrainian. A lot of Brazilians don't necessarily lose. And I don't know too much necessarily about these fighters to pick a side, but I mean, the odds makers have to see something in this one. I mean, maybe nobody in this unknown of a rank should be that much of a favorite. It should be maybe a little closer, but I'll feel comfortable in siding with the public. It may bite me in the ass. Let's go into the next fight. And it's bantamweight women's matchup. Alice Pereira. Man, I'm so confused. Eileen Pereira is Alex's sister. Who is this girl?
I have no idea.
Well, she's the youngest UFC fighter in history, right? Or
she is
on the UFC roster in the women's weight. I'm not necessarily sure.
I don't know of history, but she's definitely on the roster.
A lot of question marks, but I mean, is she worth the minus 140 price on a debut? A 19-year-old, like, is she a phenom? Montserrat Rendon, granted, has been kind of boring, right? All her fights go to decision, but she's massive, like, for the weight class. Like, she's a really big fighter, older in age, maybe more experienced. I don't think I'm willing to lay the minus 140. If she goes out there and just starts as Rendon, and I guess I'm just seeing this wrong, but I just got to go with just slight seasoned veteran with Rendon in size to beat a very young and inexperienced Alice Pereira. So I'll take the dog play. So the women's dogs, they tend to hit a lot. Plus 140, I think it's worth it. And now a flyweight matchup. Alessandro Costa is a very exciting guy. And Alden Correa, I don't know necessarily where he's coming from. The odds makers are counting him out at plus 350. I'm all over Costa. I do think he's the right side. And people are saying that this is going to the judges. Like, Corey's going to put up a good fight here. But I think Costa has too many weapons, too many ways to win. And I think his strength and conditioning, you just look how this guy fights. He's all gas, no breaks. I think he's going to sooner or later break Alden Correa in this fight. So I'll take Costa inside the distance at plus 120. I'm going to fade people saying this going to the judges.
Yeah, I got to play in this one, kid. Costa has had his ups and downs inside the octagon, but his 2 losses have been against Steve Erceg and Amir Albazi. Yeah. When he fought down in rankings, he knocked out Jimmy Fleck and Kevin Brojas. So, yeah, he's a huge favorite, 4-1. He's definitely a good parlay piece, I would say. I think he's a good prospect. He has equal balance. He has knockout power. He has submission finishes on his resume. But I do think this is a jump up in competition. I just don't see it going well for him. I think Costa is going to keep the fight on the feet. He probably have success there. But if needed, I think he can take this fight on the ground. So I agree. I think Alessandro Costa is the right side. But I would put him in your parlay. I don't think even inside the distance, I probably wouldn't pick. Think it's safer to just go on your parlay.
Very sharp bet there. Let's go into this middleweight matchup. Zachary Reese is slightly favored, minus 230, taking on Cedricus Dumas at plus 205. And I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like a lot of people are putting their hopes up for Zachary Reese. And he's got a couple wins over some guys in a later fight on this card, but I feel just something tells me like Reese lets people down in moments. Like I think this is like a must win for him. So like if the pressure is too much, he may fall short against Dumas. Dumas like ruins parlays. I'm taking a chance with him. You may not like the guy's character, but he look at the way the guy fights. I feel like it's not going to bode well for Zachary Reese in here, especially if he gets late. Zachary Reese's chance to win, I think, is going to be a little early. So a parlay buster. Give me straight up pick Cedricus Dumas, dog, plus 205.
I mean, we have to stand for something on this podcast, and you taking a guy like that is just, it's despicable. Although, his last 2 wins have come, via decision. I think Zachary Reese, he does have finishing capabilities. Those were his only 2 decisions in his career. And one of them was because Jose Medina, he seems to be nearly impossible to knock out. So, Now you get Zachary Reese taking on Dumas, who, he has his run into the trouble out of the cage. He's been knocked out 2 of his last 3 fights in the cage, and he's also missed his recent fight due to an ankle bracelet. So, you want to back a guy like that? I will not. Give me Zachary Reese via KO TKO at plus 155. He's gonna get knocked out.
Oh, I think that'd be cool to watch. So it's always great when I'm the opposite side and then I wind up missing. So we'll see if it hits though. I'll be like, hey,
I do.
That's just the world we live in. Let's go into the next fight here. I have a flyweight matchup again, man. Jesus Aguilar plus 180. He's taking a Luis Garrul at minus 190. I think they look at the finishing ability of Luis Garrul, but I don't think he's really proven himself yet at the ranks of the UFC. I think it's hard pressed to see him get a finisher, which would kind of implement his game. Jesus Aguilar's tough. I think the right play here, even though it's a slight chalk, is just to take the over. I think you're counting on Garrul to get a finish here. He could, wind up winning on the judges' scorecards. But Jesus Aguilar is a tough cookie. He could easily find a late finish. He's got good gas tank and all that. So, yeah, I'm gonna side with the flyweights as I went. Before Alexander Costa getting the finish, it's kind of rare for 125ers to get finishes. So, if the fight stays standing, there's not as much grappling. I think you could see a cruise through the judges. Maybe if it even hits the mat, you could still see that. So, over 2.5 rounds of minus 160. You got to play on this next one, D-Rock. Your girl, Tatiana Suarez, is back, and she's heavily favored. 4-1. I got her around like minus 420. I'm seeing, and some going even up to minus 500. But Amanda Lemos, man, if she can stop these takedowns, don't you think there's a big discrepancy on the feet?
I do, and I think this is kind of a big fuck you. The UFC is giving Tatiana. Have fun on the prelims. That's what they're basically saying. Yeah. I have no play. I do think Tatiana should win. She should. But if she does another stinker, who knows? But Amanda Lemos, she's getting up there in age. I really don't trust her on the feet anymore, and she's been finished recently. So yeah, I don't want to take Amanda Lemos. I stayed away. It's almost a 5-1 favorite. I have business taking Tatiana.
I get you, and that's why I'm fading her. I'm going with Amanda Lemos. I get the age and all that, but I mean, she's still fighting, right? And she still has power. I think for that weight class, she has an advantage there for a lot of fights that she gets. And Tatiana Suarez just looks like she just can't stand. Like she just can't throw hands properly. Like her wrestling is going to be next level, and that's where she's going to want to take the fight. And you've seen if she gets taken down, Amanda Lemos, she's in trouble. But every round starts the fight standing. The fight does start standing. Lemos stops 1 or 2 takedowns. She could start tagging and catching Tatiana Suarez. I think the plus 400 is worth the sprinkle. Pizza bet, as you like to say. So yeah, I'm taking the big dog in the women's fight. Now this next matchup. You think I'm in trouble? I see one of my fellow Peruvian fighters going on.
This should be a good fight.
I think so too. And that's why I think closely contested between Joaquin Silva, Neto BJJ, and Claudio Puelles, the Prince of Peru. I see a finish. I see either one of these guys playing their game. I mean, Silva, surprisingly for his nickname being Neto BJJ, doesn't really have more recent of a submission finish. I think more of his recent finishes are via KO TKO, whether that's on the ground or not. I'm not necessarily sure, but Puelles could easily sink into submission here. He's used some of those submissions. So I think anything's on the table in this fight. I don't see any reach of the judges. Give me the under 2.5 rounds at plus 130.
Yeah, despite coming into this matchup running a 2-fight losing streak, I think Claudio, he's surprisingly the betting favorite over Joaquin Silva. Claudio only path to victory is securing a leg lock, I feel like. And I just don't see it happening here. I feel like Joaquin Silva is the better athlete. I think he's the better striker. I expect him to keep this fight standing. And I think Claudio's really not that good. I feel like he's going to tire out. So if Silva can push the pace the way he did against Clay Guida back in December, I think he's going to make Claudio tire out and potentially get the finish. Give me Joaquin Silva here at even money.
Love it. Did not expect that, but I could easily see a finish from either of these guys. Like you said, that's a low-key exciting fight.
Mm-hmm.
This middleweight matchup were the two guys that had lost to Zachary Reese in most recent between their two fights. Jose Daniel Medina, the impossible one to finish at plus 330, is taking on Dusko Todorovic at minus 335. And man, I just have that kind of burned in my head. Jose Daniel Medina's last outing, did he not get finished pretty bad? Right? Mm-hmm. I know he did have some tough outings there, and even when the fight gets sloppy, he still seems to be in it. But I just think that is Todorovic's chance to stay in the UFC. You lose to Jose Daniel Medina, I think you get cut here. So I think it's going to be two guys fighting for their UFC career, right? In a sense, or the UFC contract currently right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Jose Daniel Medina dog money line is tempting, but we can easily swing that all the way around by taking what you said was impossible. Seeing that I did see Jose Daniel Medina look bad and get finished in his last outing, I'm going to take Dusko Todorovic to get the KO TKO here at plus 330. Match the dog price if those tempted to take Medina. I'm not willing to. I know it's Noche UFC, but Todorovic I think is going to have way better hands here. So KO TKO plus 330.
A little chalky here. I like the over 1.5 rounds at minus 190. I think I mentioned it earlier. Jose Medina he's looked virtually unable to be knocked out, and he's notoriously got on through Dana White Contender Series. He took a good beating there. And I feel like while both of these fighters can hit hard, I don't think neither has won that many fights. And, they're not really easy to finish. So you could get some good money for both of them just surviving a little bit, maybe even fight to go the distance, honestly. I just think both of these guys are just tough son of a bees. So over 1.5 rounds is a little chalky, but I do like this to go into the second, third round.
Safe. It would favor Jose Daniel Medina as it gets later. Todorovic has seemed to gas, but I mean, he catches him early. He does put the thunder on you. Live up to his nickname. Not much is known about Santiago Luna in this bantamweight matchup, but he's getting the odds makers in his favor at minus 125. He's taking on Kwang Lee. You have anything on there?
That's the start of the main card. We have Alexander Hernandez is the.
Oh, they flopped it.
Yep.
Shit. I'm just gonna say it. I got an official lean on Luna because I don't think you have a play on that. Do you?
You don't know, so keep going. I do.
Let's just talk about it. I mentioned it.
Yeah, I like Quinn Lee here on the money line, plus 115. He bursted into the UFC, late notice fight against Chris Gutierrez. He looked solid in a losing effort. He did put a dud in his second fight, but, he rebounded from that, and he had a dominant performance against a really good fighter. And I think the market still hasn't bounce back on him. So we can get him as a nice underdog here. And I think it's a good matchup against Santiago. And I think Luna, he loves to shoot a takedown. And I think Quan Lee, he's exceedingly hard to get to the mat. He has good takedown defense. So on the feet, I think he has too much power and he's too powerful for Santiago Luna. So yeah, give me the dog. Give me Quan Lee here on the money line, plus 115.
Yeah, I apologize for mentioning that earlier. On the UFC website, it is that way where Alexander Hernandez and Carlos Diego Ferreira are the main event of the prelims. But everywhere else, ShareDog, Tapology, get your act together. They'd have it the flip. So that's why I said that fight first. But in reality, this fight is prior to the one we just discussed. Alexander Hernandez taking on Diego Ferreira. You have a play on it?
I want to see where you're going first.
I'm going Alex Hernandez. We forget that the guy, I know he just got dismantled Chase Hooper, and that's why he's making a quick turnaround. And you can't sleep on Ferreira. He's got knockout power. He's got great takedowns, great grappling. But I just seen Alex Hernandez has always been set up to be the legend killer, right? Like he's always fighting these old veterans, and he's always coming out on top. I think only one is when he disrespected Donald Cerrone, but that taught him a lesson, So I'm still high on Alexander Hernandez, though this is a tough fight. I feel like you're opposite.
Huh. You know me very well. I mean, 40-year-old Diego Ferreira, he came up as a jiu-jitsu specialist, but he's gotten older and he's fought, he's found that kind of old man strength. We talk about it growing up. He has that old man father strength. 2 of his last 3 fights have seen him end things with his hands. Anthony Hernandez is a guy who loves and stand and scrap, and he's been knocked out by guys who don't hit as hard as Diego Ferreira. So, the thought of the takedown could possibly lower Hernandez's guard kind of a bit, but, opening things up for a knockout blow, give me Diego Ferreira via KO TKO at plus 500, 5-1. Give me, I love that. A little pizza bet for you.
That's a great bet. I'm not going to lie. Especially if it's like a ground and pound, but like that's on the table. And you've seen what he did to MJ, man. Starched him. It's always there. Always there. Man, did you see Kelvin Gastelum on the scale? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I get it. Minus 120. I mean, minus 220. And the weight advantage normally gives you an edge, So it seems like it's the
Good
right
Lord.
side. He's always had good boxing, but I mean, it just seems like he's not there, right? He's got one foot out the door, man. He's doing food reviews online and he coming 5 pounds overweight. I mean, to a weight class you moved up to and are
Not
still
good.
small for the weight class. I mean, this is not a good look, and it doesn't give me any confidence in taking him. And I wasn't taking him to begin with. I think Dustin Stolfus is a tough guy, and I think this isn't an easy out for Kelvin Gastelum. And I mean, not taking it seriously, not missing. I mean, I can't back a guy right now, and I know it. Like I said, it gives him the edge, the foul in the fight, missing weight, gives you all these edges. But give me the guy who made the weight, who has some surprising wins. Beat the guy that Kelvin Gastelum just lost to, right? Loki, I know it was an injury, but he beat Joe Pyfer. So Dustin Stolfus, he could get this job done. And the dog price he is, I think it's worth it. Another pizza bet, as you'd like to say. Give me the plus 215. No play?
No. Fade Kelvin Gastelum.
Love it. All right. But Jared Flash Gordon, he's going to make a name for himself again here. I mean, right? This is coming off that knockout win, right? He's going to do great in this one. You have any play?
I do not. Maybe.
Well, yeah, I got Jared Gordon on the books here, minus 200 and up, right? Gift to Garcia, Rafael Garcia plus 200. I just think Jared Gordon's going to win this. I think a safe bet, a sharp bet, is just take him a decision. I would say about 7 out of 10 fights for him in his career go to the judges' scorecards. He does have some of those surprise finishes scattered throughout, so I guess that's always on the table, but I'm going to take a safer bet, maybe a little boring. Jared Gordon via decision, minus 115.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect matchup for Gordon, who, he's entering this fight following a first-round knockout to Thiago Moises. Gordon, he's the better fighter than Garcia, both on the feet and on the mat. I think Garcia is durable, but Gordon, heavy favorite, minus 255 I'm seeing. I think he's a good parlay piece, because I don't see how he could lose this fight. But they are a little pricey. I like him double chance to win by KO, TKO, or decision. You can get that at minus 150 as well. So
I think the submission for him is kind of out the window. Not that he doesn't have that in his arsenal, but against a guy like Rafa Garcia, I think that's his game. Rafa Garcia's going to want to take this to the mat. I mean, he likes standing sometimes, but you can see the comparisons and the contrast of styles. So we got this co-main event, which I like, shout out Rob Font, right? Because he's stepping in on short notice, is he not?
Yeah.
So 135 pounds.
No, Dave Martinez is stepping in on short notice.
Oh, so who the hell got called out? I thought it was
Chiwiwi.
So that's why I was like, I thought I asked you that, but again, I gotta let it slip. But I was like, where the hell is Chiwiwi? I thought we had Rosas. But David Martinez is no joke, in my opinion, man. And I think a lot of backers are going to just go ride the veteran and Rob Font. But we've seen a lot of these guys coming on short notice, these new guys that they're not well known, but they're some of the best in the world. And I think the world of David Martinez and his finishing ability. I think he's an A1 athlete. I think he's one of Mexico's shining stars. And I think he comes in short notice and gets that win against Rob Font. Going with David Martinez as a dog is plus 115 and up, but I think it's worth it. I got a couple dogs, and he's one of the big ones.
Yeah, it's my favorite play on the card. I understand a lot of people who are excited about David Martinez. Not only does he have a solid record, but he looked sharp in his UFC debut. However, this is a big ask for someone in their just second fight in the UFC. In addition to that, Rob Font has seen a resurgence as of late. Thanks to the move, he moved to TriStar. He lost 3 in a row. He's rattled off wins against Kyler Phillips, Juan Masumoto, and both fights to the public seem to doubt him on that. He's still good. He's keeping himself safe. He's sharp technician striker. Both of these things could help him in a victory here. Give me the New England Cartel, Rob Font. Who the fuck am I not to take Rob Font, baby? Minus
this price?
130.
Yeah, I was going to say, this price, but we've made it to the main event of Noche UFC. Featherweight cash is probably a number 1 contender. Is it not? It has to be. John Silva even ranked 10th. I think it means a lot where he is right now and what he's done against Diego Lopez. I mean, who else, right? So Diego Lopez is a dog. He's plus 215, and Lord Silva is minus 245. D-Rock, I'll give you my play. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Lord Silva. I do think Diego Lopez is riding a high, and I think he looks to be in serious shape, ready for this fight. But I think maybe there's a little bad blood that was spewed out towards Yair Rodriguez, and it's not that he's not focused on what's in front of him, John Silva, but I just feel like you know, that could be kind of waiting in the wings. You know what I mean? And John Silva could just be looking to, you know, get past this and get to the title. So neither guy necessarily is looking past their opponent, but I think it's kind of about what's to come, right? So I think a lot comes out of this fight, the winners and losers of it. But I'm going to go with Lord Silva, right the wrongs of the fighting nerds that have all lost. He's the last one to not lose, right? Everyone has had a loss other than that in the camp.
Yeah.
So John Silva is going to kind of be at the forefront of the camp. And if he loses, I do not know about the fighting nerd stock, right? You had all of them lose in the calendar year 2025. And we had such high expectations. I think the hype train derails a little bit, don't you think? So, yeah, what my play is John Silva to win, because after these 2 rounds, I think it does get choppy and it gets tough for him. But I got him to win in round 1 or 2 at plus 265. Just a little more viciousness maybe coming out from his side.
Yeah, 2 well-rounded fighters, great durability, who, you know, I think are both always looking for a finish. While I expect this fight to have many, you know, kind of like you were saying, hold your breath moments. I do see it going into the championship rounds. Each of Lopez's past 3 fights have gone the distance, but Silva hasn't had a fight go to decision since he's competed on the Dana White Contender Series back in 2023. However, Lord Silva has not fought anyone ranked in the UFC top 5, and Lopez has yet to be finished in the UFC. I think Lopez has major advantage if he could get Silva on his back. We'll see if he does take the we'll see if he does shoot and try to get that takedown. But on the feet, the striking is nearly even. Not going to take a side. I lean the dog, but I don't feel great about it. I like the over 2.5 rounds at minus 150. I think it could get into round 4, round 5 as well. I think it drags on. I don't think we're going to see fireworks early here. So kind of contrarian to your play.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just the fear of the power keeps them tentative, and like you said, it drags on. But if they just go for it, man, I think you could see Diego Lopez knocking out John Silva. You could.
Yeah. So, Joe, good luck. Like I said, prelims start at 3 p.m. here on the East Coast. Main card is a 6 p.m. East Coast in San Antonio, Texas. The Frost Bank Center.
Good for them, they're getting that fight there.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get to it. We will have picks for Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Undisputed versus undisputed. Terence Crawford moving up 2 divisions to challenge Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed super middleweight championship. They're probably gonna make their walk around 9 p.m. Here on Netflix. Crawford 41-0, 31 knockouts. He has 4 titles in 4 weight classes, and he's been undisputed champion at junior welterweight and welterweight. If he beats Canelo, he will become the first fighter in men's boxing to unify all 4 major belts in 3 divisions.
Wow.
It will be insane. Yeah, a lot of history on the line.
Boxing, TKO Boxing's first event on the Netflix card. Riyadh season. And
Canelo, 63-2, 39-2. 39 knockouts. He defeated Caleb Plant by 11th round knockout in November 2021 to become undisputed champion at 168. He's made 4 successful defenses before the IBF stripped him for not fighting the mandatory challenger William Skull, instead facing Edgar Berlanga. Last September, Canelo eventually fought Skull in May to regain the championship.
One of the worst selling pay-per-views ever.
Yeah, so all Canelo's victories since stopping Plant, to no surprise, have come by decision. Can Crawford be successful in the higher division? Joey, I will let you lead it off. What do you got?
And I mean, it's not just 1 weight class, it's 2. But I mean, you see the face-off at the press conference. I mean, he sizes up pretty damn well, Doesn't look like Canelo, being though sitting at a heavier weight class, looks like the bigger guy. To be honest, it looks like Terence was a little taller, was he not? Maybe a little more filled out as well. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, he is still moving up. Canelo, I guess you could say, is the A side since he's staying put, right? Defending his
by the way, minus 170 for Canelo, plus 149 for Bud Crawford. Total rounds is at 10.5.
Wow. So yeah, they like you said, with all the recencies, I think even with Bud Crawford, a lot of the fights going to the judges, right? And that makes for, I guess, a controversial call, right? Depending on how close the fight is, you can see maybe what the judges are looking at. This is one of the biggest fights in boxing history. This is a highly anticipated matchup. Canelo Alvarez is going to want to use as much as he could cut off the ring as possible, because Bud is that switch hitter. He's going to be able to switch stances. And I think, right, Canelo named me fight southpaw. I think you may see him match that a lot to just kind of offset it, as opposed to Canelo maybe having advantages against guys that are coming in orthodox. So, Bud's going to come up with a great game plan. Canelo is as well. I think the power is basically even. This is a very evenly contested matchup. I think people are maybe counting out Bud a little too much. Odds indicate that. I mean, he's making massive history here. But he is a little older, and that doesn't mean much. That doesn't mean too much, but surprisingly, Canelo is younger. You do look at their resume, and I know he has gone to the judges a little bit more than you would like, but I see Canelo, putting together some good combinations and maybe, hurting him, Bud could do the same. That's how closely this fight is contested. I feel like these guys, I feel like there's going to be a lot of skill in there. There's going to be a lot of back and forth, but I feel like these guys can also get down, right? These guys can also maybe just throw caution to the wind and just exchange for the fans. I think that would make this go down in history as one of the best fights ever. Not only just one of the best lead ups and biggest promotional fights in boxing history, but literally be one of the best fights we've ever watched. That's how good these guys are. It pains me to not back the Nebraska native. I got to go with Canelo. We did talk about it. We were teasing one another. Originally we said that, and I stuck with it. But I do like Bud. I do think he's a good face for boxing as well. If he does unify this, it means a lot. But I do, surprisingly so, do feel like the pressure is really on him. I know that may be a slight hot take, but you could say like Canelo has a lot to lose. I don't necessarily think he has much to lose, in the sense that he is the defending champion, undisputed champion. Losing a fight right here in this point in time, I think gets him an immediate rematch. I don't think there's any other fight to make it other than if Bud beats Canelo here to have the rematch. So a lot of pressure is on Terence Bud Crawford, in my opinion, and a lot of people might not see it that way, because if he loses this matchup, he won't get another shot. And I think he loses maybe his legacy in a sense. He loses a lot of the legacy. I think in a way, Canelo Alvarez having 2 losses on his record, we've already accepted that he's one of the greats with some losses, but Bud Crawford maybe not being as known with some casual guys, he loses in this stage. I think it maybe diminishes a lot of what he's done. And that shouldn't be the case for any of our fighters, but it's just facts, right? We are fickle as fans. And so very close matchup. I think one of the best we'll ever see, and I'm hoping for that. But I think you're taking your boy Bud, so I'm going to take Canelo if we stick to our guns.
Yeah, if they were the same size and kind of be similar, no doubt, I feel like my boy Bud Crawford would beat Canelo and kind of make him look average. Crawford is that good. When he fought Errol Spence Jr., I thought Crawford was going to beat him and make him look average. And, I thought he did well in that fight. And I just think he has the finishing capabilities, finished 31 of 41 fighters. So he's the predator, not prey. He's one of those fighters that, that will intimidate you, and you're going to have to knock him out to beat him. And I just don't think Canelo will be able to do that. So I'm going to take the plus 149. I'm going with my boy Bud. I also like him via decision, and you can get that at plus 235. I think it goes every round.
That's a great pick, and I think it instantly guarantees a rematch. If he wins split unanimously, it doesn't matter. If it goes to the judges' scorecard and he's victorious, like I said, we're getting that rematch back, and it's may sell more, to be honest, right? I mean, is it selling though because it's on Netflix? No, not necessarily. But
I mean, the money that these two are making are ridiculous.
The money's there. The subscribers, I think they did a measurement, right? It's like a certain Nielsen system for the Netflix. How many viewers? Are they just saying whoever has a Netflix account, that's who's watching it? That shouldn't be the case. It should be how many live streamers they have, right? To get the view count. But interesting what we're going towards. We're losing the pay-per-view model for the UFC. We're in Netflix for boxing. And Dana White, bro, did you see that interviewer, like the guy who came up for the press conference and was asking Dana White some serious questions about the Ali Act and stuff like that? I had Dana shivering in his timbers.
What did he say?
Well, he's Dana White's only getting involved with the boxing because he's trying to do sweeping changes to the Ali reform, the Ali Act, and the Ali Act I think helps with fighters' insurance, I think, or it helps with their benefits or something along those lines. But trying to take it away and basically just I guess maybe there's some sort of like unionization going along with that act. And so basically him like taking that away, is just doing less and less for the fighters. And that was the question that the interviewer had. And he was saying, if you want to be an asshole, he's like, just get up and interview. But we know he's not going to set that interview with the guy because he's not accepting real journalists. He's not accepting to answer those hard hitting questions.
He likes
now more than ever,
easy questions.
If now more than ever you believe in that, you should be willing to go forth and set that interview up. We need to have these conversations, and I think we should all be willing to do that.
100%, but he's not going to do that. So
that's fraud. That's a fraud. That's a fraudulent thing, especially if, like I said, he's where he's at in this place and time.
Yeah. All right, kid. Before we get to BKFC 80, a few bits and bots I wanted to discuss. Nathaniel Wood. He has a fight, UFC 321, October 25th. He will be taking on Jose Delgado. That is a
damn. You move right along from boxing. You don't want to talk about anything else. You got Nayo Inoue fighting, Callum Walsh is fighting, Christian and Billy's fighting.
I don't have anything for that. You got anything?
I do.
All right. So what do you got?
Yeah, no, I mean, on that same card, I mean, they're pushing Callum Walsh to be the next big thing as well.
He just lost.
Who'd he lose to?
Didn't he just lose?
No.
Callum Walsh. Who was the guy that lost?
It was a close fight. It was a head clash, I think. So it was a little controversial.
He's a bum.
But no, I'll take him, and then to get some money out of it, like if you're saying he's a bum, I got him to be knocked down and to still win at plus 950.
Give me the. I hope he loses.
So that's why you don't have anything.
No, I just didn't have anything just because I don't think he's an exciting fighter.
Christian Billy's been the interim WBC World Superweight Middle Champion, and I think he defends it. Lester Martinez, I do not like the level of competition he's fought, and I know he's undefeated, but you get a lot of these undefeated guys coming up that just aren't on that level. So in Billy, probably want to take him straight up, and also KO TKO I think is worth the sprinkle at plus 160. So that's all I had. I seen for the Bud Crawford and Canelo card, and then on Sunday,
real quick, the difference is no one really cares about Callum Walsh in the undercard, and boxing only has a main event. Meanwhile, the UFC, there are fucking killers all the way at everywhere.
But there's still co-main and feature bout in boxing.
Yeah, but they're not good. The casual doesn't know about them. And meanwhile, the casual could be like, oh, Tatiana Suarez, she's a top 5 fighter, and she's in the prelims. You could say that in the UFC. In boxing, who's fighting in the prelim?
That's always been the argument, the level of competition.
That's what I'm saying. They're trash.
Yeah, but that's why you got to say that it's an easy win. It should be. But like you said, if they lose, then your point's coming true. But we'll see, right? We'll see. But you can't say Nayo Inoue's trash. That dude's legit, right? Yeah. And you got to take him to win. And it's even favor him to get the KO TKO. I got some surprising for you guys. I don't think a lot of people know about Murjan Akhmadaliev, but he's a tough dude. He finishes a lot of guys. He could go to the judges' scorecards. Here's how Inoue's going to win. Here's a little something for you, right? He's surprised by John. He's surprised by him. They come out slugging a little bit, and Inoue, starts investing in a body. But you always expect Inoue to get that KO TKO earlier. Maybe bets start coming in that he's going to win via decision, live bets, right? Boom. He still gets the finish, but it's in the 12th round. I'm going to take Inoue, putting the pressure, because this is JBC, this Japanese Boxing Commission, putting on an event for him in Japan. I feel like he's going to go all out. If he's not getting that finish early, he's going to get it in the last round. Let's get Inoue to win the fight in round 12 at plus 1,200.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, might as well put a parlay for it, too.
You might as well. I mean, he's a top 3.
Yeah, straight up could work, or with the pops I just gave you.
If he and Bud Crawford win, who do you put ahead?
But here's the thing. If Canelo beats Bud Crawford, is he number 1?
No.
Wow, really?
Alexander Usyk.
Bud goes number 1.
But yeah, because we're prisoner of the moment. Absolutely.
But beating Bud Crawford, so you're not considering the win over Bud Crawford as heavy as the win over Canelo.
Correct.
Ooh.
He already has 2 losses. He's already fraudulent.
Interesting.
He's already fraudulent.
You can't say that.
And
what if he destroys Bud Crawford? He's not going to. You're confident. You're confident. That's what's going on.
make
You're
me
so
laugh.
biased.
Don't make me laugh.
I try to
Now-
play as arbitrator as possible.
Now,
That's
if
straight down the
Bud
middle.
wins a boring fight, which is possible, if he wins a boring fight and Inoue goes and knocks out his opponent, do you put an Inoue above him?
No.
No, me either, because I think
No.
the win over Canelo is bigger.
Yeah, and in case of what have you
yeah.
done for me lately as well? I still think just what Usyk's done, and no, granted, Bud Crawford doing all what he's done, beating Canelo again. Am I going to put him over Usyk? That's the question as well.
Yeah. Are we just never going to give the flyweights and lower weight guys the credit that they deserve?
No, I mean, we've been having a revolving door at this at this point. We really have, you and I. So,
but the actual people
Canelo,
who give the rankings.
I think you're right. Usyk, it's not as late as Bud Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. That is such a massive thing. You put Bud Crawford at number 1. You might even be able to put Inoue over Usyk, right? No, keep him at 3. Usyk's number 2.
Yeah, Usyk's 2.
But Bud Crawford beats him. That's how that happens.
If he knocks out Canelo, he's won.
Oh, he's 100% won. Even with the decision win, he's won. But Canelo Alvarez winning, he's not number 1. Usyk's still number 1.
Correct.
But it's Canelo 2. You put Inoue over him?
I would put Inoue over him.
Woo! I
love
like
him.
It. Yeah, I like it. Okay. We got to come out with our pound for pounds again.
Yeah, we will. After this fight, we'll have it next week.
Let's do it.
I'll put that in the notes for me. Speaking of boxing, our boy Us. I mean, we mentioned it last week, and it finally got announced, but Joseph Parker versus Fabio Warley is set for the O2 Arena in London, October 25th.
I saw that.
Saturday. That's the same weekend as UFC 321. My thing is, why is the Us getting? He's
Us.
getting. It's so disrespectful. He should be fighting Alexander Usyk. He's out there dancing. I thought his back hurt.
That's a mess.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Boxing
It shouldn't be the case. There's just so much controversy. We can't say that. We always joke like that, but no, they pull out so much questionable tactics that it seems corrupt. Does it not? It seems corrupt. And I think that's what we don't want. We don't want corruption in the fight game, but we hope that's not the case, but it stinks of it, right? It stinks of it.
Real quick, I got 2 MMA fights I wanted to get your thoughts on. Our girl, Fatima Klein, UFC 322 against Angela Hill.
Don't even care. She's going to win.
Yep, she's going to knock Angela Hill out. And then my girl, Macy Barber, taking on Karina Silva, UFC 323, December 6th.
Oh, Gorilla
Can she make it to the fight?
No.
Probably not. All right, kid. Yoel Romero, BKFC 80, Hollywood, Florida, tonight.
Yeah, buddy. You got to take Yoel Romero first round knockout. I mean, he's favored minus 2,500. I think this is the only way you're going to maybe be able to squeeze it down. But to just, I think, double down, I think you take Leonardo Perdomo. If you don't know the heavyweight in the main event, that's probably the matchup they're going to make up next and maybe try to get a fight in Miami. I expect that to be the case because Yoel Romero, I know in his older age, he's still who he is, the soldier of God. Look at the shape he's in. That fight's going to happen right after this. I know you still got Ben Rothwell, right? You got all these BKFC guys, but I think that's a matchup you next. Leonardo Perdomo is a Cuban sensation. He will get his first round knockout in the rematch against Arnold Adams. So both these guys getting their first round knockouts. I think you're going to see a face-off tonight in the BKFC Circle Square. And the next matchup that will be announced will be Yoel Romero taking on Leonardo Perdomo for the heavyweight title in Miami, Florida. So get ready for that, everybody. Like I said, I am taking Perdomo and Romero. And then even if you want, Kimbo Slice Jr. is fighting on the card. So if that doesn't ring a bell that the next fight these guys all will be having isn't in Miami, I don't know what to tell you.
At 48 years old, he still looks like a specimen, that man.
Dude, he's like a Cuban experiment, bro.
Yeah,
100%.
I fucking love him. Well, good luck to Yoel Romero. Joe, good luck to you. Should be a hell of a weekend. We got UFC Noche leading right into Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. You notice how I say Terence Crawford first because he is the A side. Shock the world, my friend. I hope you win. I hope you win all your bets, Joe. Good luck to everyone. Enjoy the fights this weekend.
Yo, last thing before we get out of here, Dana White Contender Series. We know we keep the ball rolling. Get one thing to keep you on your toes. First fight, I got to take between Cody Shabanak and Rafael Echegubu. I got to take Echegubu. I think the United Kingdom fighter is just more well-rounded on the feet. Middleweight match, a lot of people like the South Korean Yu Su Wang, but Paddy McCory, man, I think people are sleeping on him. Give me McCory. Give me the Irishman making the UFC ranks with a knockout. Lightweight match of Thomas Grant, great wrestler, but he's taking on the Atom Bomb and Adam Livingston. And I just see that one guy's going to have their way, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. Give me under 2.5 rounds. The light heavyweight matchup in the co-main is Iwo Barnaszewski taking on Muhammad Ali. And it's a Brazilian Muhammad Ali that's got a lot of grappling credentials. I think he'll find a way to drag this to the mat. I failed my last time out when I faded Alexiejczyk's brother, but Polish power doesn't bode well against jiu-jitsu. So give me Ali there. And then the main event going over 2.5 rounds. Depending on how the fight goes between Max and Lee and Hector Souza, we may not see a contract, and that's happened before, but if it's exciting, maybe both get one. So over 2.5 rounds in that main event. My totals are doing great.
I was about to say, fade the other things, back to totals and parlay.
Totals, 100%. Yeah.
Hey, good luck this weekend. Good luck to everyone in the chat. Enjoy the weekend, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.